hear me? I don't think this is working. Let me see. Is this thing plugged in? We're gonna overcome all of our technologies first. Hello. Okay, I think this is working now. Hi, welcome back to the 30-day split challenge. Yes. Okay, we're good. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds to ground, get centered, fully arrive here, and I'm gonna meet you on my mat. How's the 30-day split challenge going for you so far? I'm so excited that you're here. Let me see if I'm live on my end. And this is like an open conversation, by the way. I said this on day one. Like, feel free to comment and message and let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling, if anything's coming up for you. Because when we open our hammies and our hips, we move all that stagnant energy that's been sitting there for long periods of time. And yeah, so anyway, don't forget to stay hydrated, drink lots of water. If you need to grab any props today, we're probably going to use blocks if you need them. And in the next couple of days, we will eventually start using a foam roller because I'm going to have you foam rolling your hammies. But that's not going to be for like the next couple of days. Any announcements, just make sure that you took a before picture of your split. And if you never did, do it. Do it now because it's not too late. You can still take a before and after photo like now and it'll still work for later. So hydrate, show up here. That's it. All right, let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and have you start at the front of your mat. For this first week, we are going to be working through some sun salutations, and that's going to be our main warm up. Okay, so go ahead and stand up nice and tall. Imagine that your toes are individually separated from one another and they're all gripping onto the earth. Bring your hands to your side. Maybe close your eyes. Allow your eyes to close. Allow your gaze to soften and your breaths to lengthen. Starting with a nice deep inhale through the nose. And a big exhale. Maybe drawing your shoulders away from your ears a little bit, broadening through the heart and the collarbones. Another big breath in. Standing up nice and tall with length in the spine and a big exhale. One more breath. Draw that energy from the center of the earth up through your feet, all the way up and out the crown of your head. And then on the exhale, just fully arriving. Allowing yourself to bring your head and your feet into the same place just for the duration of this practice. All right, so on the next breath in, let's reach those arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, flat spine. Exhaling, fold, plant those hands, step or walk back to a high plank. Shift the weight forward and backward here for a couple of moments. And then once your weight is forward, go ahead and bring everything down into a chaturanga, your own shape. Inhale, up dog, maybe the first cobra or up dog of the day. And then exhale, tuck the toes. Come back to a down dog. 5 deep breaths. So allow yourself to really settle into the pose here. Really extending those fingers out wide. Extending your toes out. This is our new foundation, right? Drawing that energy line from the bottoms of the feet all the way up to the tailbone, and same thing from your hands to the tailbone. Draw that energy up, up, up. Maybe you bend one knee, rocking the hip side to side, and then the other knee. Maybe you bend both knees out to the side and you pull your hips back. Just taking whatever shapes or movements feel really good to you. Good. We're going to look between the hands. Hop, step, or walk up to the front of the mat. Inhaling, lift up halfway. Exhaling, fold. Reach the arms out and up. Big breath. And then exhaling, hands to heart center, Samastiti. We'll do that one more time. Actually, 2 more times, but big breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold again. Plant the hands, step or walk back. High plank. Exhaling, chaturanga. Cobra. And then down dog. Allow yourself to become still in the mind. Centering your thoughts, centering your breath in this sort of moving meditation. You know where you're going, you know what you're doing. So bring your awareness all the way back here. Be fully present here. What do you feel in your body? What are you feeling in your feet, in your ankles, in your legs, in your toes? Just take a little body scan and observe. Where are you sending your breath? Are you keeping those nice, deep, even inhales and exhales? Or did you forget to breathe altogether? And it's okay if you forget. This is a practice, right? Go ahead and look between the hands. Make your way to the front of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, folding forward. On the next breath in, arms out and up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Good. One more time. We should be warmish. Big breath. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, folding. Step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog, 5 breaths. And again, inviting as much movement or stillness as you need. Maybe you're lifting up high on the toes and then drawing those heels down to the earth. Maybe you're pushing the ground away with your shoulders, kind of feeling the difference between when your shoulders are scrunched up in the ears and then when you're drawing them away. In my yoga teacher training, they told me, imagine that there's 2 oranges, right, in between your shoulders and your ears, or your arms and your ears. Like, create that space by drawing. Here, I'll show you. By drawing your shoulders out. You see the difference there? How I'm drawing my shoulders out and I'm not letting them be super tight, super tense. Yeah. In this pose, you can make as many small refinements into your practice as you need to. All right, look between the hands. Hop, step, or jump forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Next breath, reverse swan dive out and up. And exhaling, hands to heart center. Let's go ahead and shake it out. Shake your arms, shake your legs. Go ahead and take your feet about a little wider than hip distance apart, put your hands on your hips. We're going to make some circles, some hip circles. I like to say we're jellyfishing like we're in SpongeBob. Bring it around town, and then go ahead and switch directions. Go the other way. Yeah. All right, come back to center. Go ahead and fold forward now. Take those toes out wide, yogi squat, malasana. Maybe you shift your weight left and right. Think about sitting up nice and tall. Draw those elbows into the knees, knees into the elbows. Maybe you take your left hand down to the mat, right hand up to the sky, and you stretch. Come back to center. Other side, right hand down, left hand up, stretch. Come back to center. We're going to do 3 other things we've been doing the last 4 days, where we take our toes forward and we meet in a forward fold. And then on the next breath, we're going to meet in a yogi squat. So inhaling in this yogi squat and then exhaling to fold forward. And then when you come back into this yogi squat, just go ahead and sit all the way down. We're going to come to our back. We're going to make some hip circles here, letting the knees go opposite directions. And you can hold on to your legs if you want to. You can go the other way. Go ahead and draw your knees in together, rock side to side. And then take both of your knees in the same direction, hip circles. Notice the difference. And then take them in the other direction. And don't forget to smile every once in a while. Your practice doesn't have to be so serious all the time. All right, let's go ahead and take a happy baby. We're going to draw the outer blade edges of our feet into our hands and take your tailbone and imagine you're pressing your low back into the ground. I think most people find themselves doing one of these in a happy baby, and it's important that we are actively pressing our sacrum into the mat. Circling back to your breathing. Remembering that you are worth showing up for. We talked about that yesterday, but you keep showing up for yourself. And that's a beautiful thing. You can rock side to side a little bit if you want to. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and release the feet. Bring them down to the mat. We're going to rock them side to side. And then we're going to sit up so you can rock and roll forward and backwards until we come to a comfortable seat. We're going to take Baddha Konasana, butterfly again. So go ahead and flap your butterfly wings. Hello, hello, if you're here with me. Imagining that you're opening your feet like a book. Maybe giving yourself a little foot massage. And then let's go ahead and do a pancake. This is one of my favorites. I've been working on this pancake for a long time. So take your legs out wide, and you can probably scoot your your glutes backwards and sit on like the front of your sit bones. Now, main focus for today is I want to talk about active versus passive stretching. So look at my legs. Imagine I fold here. That's pretty passive, right? You can't see any like definition of my muscles. I'm literally chilling and I'm folding, right? Now I want you to see what it looks like when I activate my legs. I can either point them or flex them. I like to flex them because it really reminds me to activate my legs. I can almost, you see my heels lifting off the ground because that's how much I'm pushing my legs into the earth. So I want you to just sit here, kind of relax. And your legs might not be that wide, by the way. You could be here and this is the same thing, okay? So either way, and same thing when we're going into our regular forward fold, dandasana, all that stuff. We really want our legs to be active as opposed to passive. Why? Because you're going to get a deeper stretch. You're going to have better flexibility when you focus on your active stretching. There are times when we will do passive stretching, like during a yin class or a restorative class. And that's when you kind of just let your muscles and your ligaments and your tendons all like relax into the pose. But right now, we are pushing our bodies to stretch a little bit more, which means we want them to be active. So notice how my heels lift off the ground. My toes are flexed towards my face and they're facing upwards. When I'm going to fold here, notice what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to let my feet follow my legs. I'm going to keep my feet active and pressing and the toes facing up towards the sky as if I had like thumbs ups on my toes. They're staying up. They're not turning to be thumbs sideways, right? And so we're going to stay like this. Some of you may be here. Some of you may be here. Some of you may be further. Some of you may be like right here, and that's okay. Wherever you are is perfect. Just Trust your process and start to gently fold. Keep these legs active, yeah. And maybe this is as far as you go, and that's fine, right? Remembering that shape of our pelvis and the tilt that we have here. If your pelvis was a bowl of cereal, you would be pouring the cereal forward, or would you be pouring the cereal backward? And breathe. And this is a good opportunity to pull out your blocks too. Maybe you need to rest on your blocks as you go down, that's fine. What I want you to still do is actively press your legs into the ground. Keep those toes facing up. And maybe you start like right here. Or maybe you go down even farther. I've been working on this shape for a long time, and I'm going to be honest, I'm really proud because 10 years ago, I was not that flexible. And you probably watch me and you're like, oh my gosh, but Ryan, you're so flexible. Yeah, it's like years and years of just working on it. And there's so many things that I've like worked on that I had goals for, like my hip flexibility, my pancake. This is what we call a pancake. And then you can go all the way flat. I've been working on this for like 10 years, almost, maybe like 8. But that, my shoulder flexibility, just being intentional, gaining the awareness and understanding within your own body of how your body works. And then it's not like you have to do the 30-day split challenge every day of your life. You do the 30-day split challenge one time and you learn enough about yourself and your body that you can take that information with you when you're at the gym, when you're at aerial or acro or gymnastics or dance class. All of these movements and the way that you interact with your body, you can take with you off the mat and into all of your other practices. So allow yourself to really be here, really listen to your body, tune in, say, what am I learning about my body in this pose? And then over time, as you stay committed to yourself and any sort of movement practice, these things will improve. So one more nice big inhale here. And a big exhale. We're going to come out. And then we're going to do frog. If you feel really confident in your frog and you want to do a full split, like a straddle split, you have my consent to do so. Remember to find that really clear line between pain and discomfort. A lot of people in the contortion world say that you really don't get into the stretch until you're about 2 minutes in. So today, I'm going to give us 1.5 minutes in frog. So if you'd like to take that in like a straddle, you may. Same thing in the straddle split that you want to keep in mind. Mind you, I've been working on my straddle. It's not perfect, and I wanted to do this with you because why practice by myself when we can practice together? My straddle's kind of close to the ground. It's not all the way there yet, but by the time I come back and do the 30-day split challenge a year from now, a couple months from now, or even at the end of the 30 days, I know my pelvis will be touching the ground, and I want to be fully transparent and honest with you that this is a journey, it's a practice, and there is no such thing as perfection. And once I get my pelvis all the way on the ground in my straddle split, I'm going to start working on my over splits, right? So it's like we're always learning and we're always growing, and we're in this together. So thank you for letting me guide you. Let me give you some pointers if you're going into your full straddle. And even if you're so far from the ground and you just want to do the full straddle for the 1.5 minutes anyway, you can do that. This is your practice, and I want to honor you in whatever way you need. So, all right, if you're going to go into the straddle, we're going to keep our feet and our legs what? Active. Yes. Okay, we're going to keep our legs nice and active. We're going to be pressing the ground away with our legs. So if you're going into your straddle split, what I'm not doing is letting my pelvis tuck. I'm keeping my feet very flexed, and I'm keeping them, you see how they're pushing the ground away? And you can kind of stay right here, right? If you're going into frog, which I'm going to do frog today for everybody else who's not really there in their straddle, I want this to be all levels, right? Some of you have a straddle split easily. If you have an easy straddle, then go ahead and start using blocks to work on your over splits, okay? If you're not there at all and you're like, what the heck are you talking about? And we're just going to do frog for today. We're literally only 4 days in, okay? We're not in a rush. We're not in a hurry. We'll get there when we get there. And if frog is like, OMG, this is killing me, then get your blocks out, all right? I want you to get the most out of this, so don't cheat yourself by trying to do something more advanced. Just honor where you are. Let's get that 90-degree angle between the foot and the knee and the hip, and then you can rest on these blocks in front of you. Or you can bring your torso onto the mat. We're going to stay here for 1.5 minutes, and it'll go by really quickly. So, I know I've been yapping, but let's bring our mind back to center. Another good question to ask is like, am I dissociating from the pain in this pose, or the discomfort, I should say? Am I dissociating, or am I really sitting with it? Am I being really present with my body and saying like, wow, my body's so strong, my body's so capable of holding this level of discomfort, knowing that I'm getting closer and closer to my goals. And in your frog pose, are you also pushing the ground away, imagining that you're digging your heels and your knees and your ankles into the mat, and breathing slow, deep, steady breaths. I want you to know, if you think I'm making this look easy, I'm actually dying, so you're not alone. 3, 2, 1, release. That was a whole 1.5 minutes. I'm just letting you know. Tomorrow or the next couple days, we'll start going to 2 minutes, but come out slowly. If you want to bring your legs together, shift your weight forward. Maybe you bend your knees, rocking them side to side. Go ahead and come up, and let's do some cat-cows just to kind of say thank you to our pelvis and our spine and our back and our hips and our legs. Say thank you, body, for everything you do for me. I'm going to take the right leg back. Make some circles in that ankle. Tuck those toes. Press your weight backwards. Feel that nice long stretch. Yeah. Then we're going to hug this knee in. Just place it in between the hands. Maybe you have to scoot your left leg back in space a little bit. Just go ahead and adjust so that your knee is stacked over your foot, or your ankle rather. And go ahead and drop those hips. Keep them square. Gaze up to the sky. We're going to go ahead and move back and forth from this half monkey, half split into that runner's lunge, Anjaneyasana type variation. Notice how my leg is what? We're active here. We're not passive. Active. We're pressing our heel into the earth. Okay, next time you get into your half split, stay there. We're going to stay here for 1.5 minutes also. And let's just say you're here. Sorry, I'm just going to move my foot a little more. Let's just say you're here in your half split right now. Take a big breath. And maybe you want to go more in a couple breaths. Maybe you want to move your foot a little deeper, and that's okay. Just start where you are. Make sure you're leading with your heart. If you need to have your hands on some blocks, make sure that you do that. And also asking yourself, while you're keeping your legs active, where can I soften? Can I soften my jaw? Can I soften the space between the eyebrows? Go ahead and release. You're going to just draw that right leg back and in. Rock your hips side to side, left and right, like a doggy who's wagging their tail. Actually, I don't know if dogs wag their tails like this. And then on the next inhale, come to center. We're going to take that left leg back. Extend it long. Make some circles in the ankle. Flex those toes. Drop them to the mat. Press back. Yeah. And then on the next breath in, we're going to lift that knee forward, crunch. Place it between your hands. We're going to step that back knee back a tiny bit. Make sure that your knee is stacked over your ankle. We're going to move through some of these little hip movements in this half split and runner's lunge. So we've got this left leg nice and active. We're going to shift weight forwards and backwards a couple more times, as if we're like sending lubrication to that joint before we get into that deep stretch. And then on the next half monkey, half split, go ahead and stay there. Once you get into the pose, refine your technique. Say like, okay, am I activating my leg? How's my pelvic tilt? And then once you refine, go ahead and find stillness in the mind. Lengthen your breaths. And maybe asking yourself, where else can I soften? Maybe softening the shoulders and the face. You're doing such a good job. Almost there. And go ahead and release, grounding the hands, lifting up that left leg. Maybe rock your hips side to side. And let's go ahead and just take our hips to one side, any side. And we're going to lay on our backs all the way. I want you to bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. And if this is uncomfortable for you, you can place blocks underneath your knees. Lattice. See that? Okay. Go ahead and let your head relax down. You can place your right hand on your belly, left hand on your heart. And we're going to take a couple 3-part breaths here together. So on the first inhale, I want you to imagine that you're filling up the space in your belly underneath your right hand. And then filling up the space side to side in the lungs. And then third, filling up the space all the way in the back of the throat. Holding. And then on the exhale, releasing that breath from the top, space in the back of the throat. Secondly, side to side in the lungs. And then third, that space in the deep belly. Good. We're going to breathe in 3 parts like that for a couple more breaths. So inhaling, base of the belly. Inhaling side to side. And then last little bit at the top. Exhaling, space in the back of the throat. Your lungs side to side. And then that low part of the belly. Good. One more time like that. Big breath. filling up the bottom, the middle, top, and then exhaling from top, middle, and bottom. Good. Allow your breath to return to its normal rhythm. Feeling gratitude for our body, for our ability to show up for ourselves today and every day, to this practice. Whenever you're ready, come up to a comfortable seat. You can keep your eyes soft or closed. Bring your hands to heart center. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm so grateful that you're showing up for yourself. Thank you for practicing with me today. Light within me honors, loves, and respects light within you. Namaste. Day 4, you did it. So proud of you. We're going to keep doing this for 30 whole days. So yeah, you're more than halfway through your first week. I'm so stoked, and I can't wait to keep doing this together. Feel free to invite your friends. And I would say in a couple of days, if you want to take a progress photo, you can. Make sure you are hydrating. Okay, don't forget to hydrate. Don't forget to be gentle on yourself. Journal if you want to make the most out of this challenge over the next couple of weeks. It's really going to make a world of a difference. You can make this as intentional as you want, and you can get a major transformation just by committing to yourself for 30 days and showing up to meet yourself where you are on your mat and off your mat. So I'm really excited to be here. So excited to keep on hosting this with you, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, I think that's it.